On iTunes, but as I say, iTunes sales have dropped since Spotify's been launched. Yeah, and I think they have for everybody. I've talked to the labels and stuff. But yeah, it's all on there, and of course it's all on there worldwide as well, which is useful.
It's all on.
It's on there for the whole world, not just for the UK. That's pretty easy to arrange. But I mean, pretty much, even if just as a band, you can, or you're just starting a small label, you can pretty much get someone to do to aggregate your music so that you can get it on iTunes.
But last question from me. It's been really brilliant. I think that you guys have a real sort of insight into sort of how labels think today. There's a few musicians. I won't embarrass them, but there's a few musicians scattered around here. What would be the best advice you could give them in terms of getting ahead? They're either gigging, they're rehearsing, they're thinking about approaching labels, they want some recognition. You don't accept unsolicited demo tapes.
Not really. Well,
how are they going to get noticed?
Build a fan base. Build an audience. Bands can do that themselves. Decide. Get their songs sorted out. Get who they are sorted out. Get a mailing list together. Make sure they get hold of people's email addresses at every gig. I mean, just really sort of fundamental things like that. Just build up a fan base. Build up a following, and then because those things are looked at. Whoever you are, whether it's a label or a music placement service or anybody, web stats are sort of starting to get looked at. So it's all about just building an audience, building some interest.
So you're interested in how many friends they've got on the MySpace?
Well, I mean, I'm not personally, but it's just if it becomes obvious that there's something going on, if it's looking busy on there. Not just MySpace, but just some kind of some interest that people going to the gigs. Actually people just turning up and doing it. Just the music itself, just on its own, isn't necessarily. It's always by association as well. It's either because you've heard that there's a buzz going around in this band and they're playing loads of gigs that loads of people are turning up to, or some other sort of association that makes you think that's quite interesting.
Final question: anybody entrepreneurs out here are listening to you thinking, right, okay, this is the way forward, I'm going to start my own indie label, I've got some friends who are in some bands. Would you say good idea, bad idea?
It's a good idea if you're prepared to lose lots of money, or at least initially. You're gonna, but then having said that, you can do it.
What you're doing?
Yeah, you can. You just have to be a bit smart on how you do it, I think, now. But of course, you don't have to start that big. You can start just a net label. You could even start a free label. There's a little label that one of the guys from the drums started, or they started before the drums got big. Then they're sort of very sort of favourite with the enemy at the moment. I'm just on signed to Moshi Moshi over here, and they just on every Friday they basically give away a single on their website. It's like a release, but it's developed, and people have started to go there to look for what Friday's record is and stuff. You get a proper digital code and everything, and it's built up a bit of a fan base, and to the point where they could probably now start selling CDs and proper releases if they want to do. So I think it's just about deciding who you are, what sort of music you want to do, what your identity is going to be, what is it you're going to offer to the market that's not already there. But I think you can be smart with it without spending too much money on the internet.
Any final thoughts or final questions?
Yeah. Why do you think it is major record labels which create banal and mediocre music sell so well?
Because that's their job. In the same way that it's. They're essentially that's just mass market. That's what the audience. That's how you sell records. That's how you sell quantities of records. But why they're good at it, because they've been doing it for a long time. That's their forte. But that's the only way. It's lowest common denominator music. It's the same reason that X Factor does well, and it's about sort of appealing to the low. It's just lowest common denominator, really. You know what I mean?
You sell your artists to bigger labels or can you just take them?
But they could just take them, really. They could just Yeah, we haven't got. I mean, there's nothing to stop one of the artists. I mean, they can't take the records because they're ours, but they could take the artist, and yeah, because we haven't signed them to a deal.
You don't have any rights to the artist.
No, just the product, or just the records that they've done for us. I mean, we could offer. I mean, I think you should only really do that. I think you don't really tie artists to that if you've given them more. If you've given them an advance, for instance, given them some money so they can go and develop. And we can't do that. Not at the moment. And even a lot of bigger labels don't do that. So no, we don't. We don't own them as people. They can go and work for other people.
Would you like to expand reach across around anyone around the country, or just like stay
No, there's no. I don't have any. No, we don't sort of deliberately pick bands from here. It's just that there's been so many that keep popping up that are really good, and obviously it's easy because we're here. But yeah, I mean that's why we started with two bands that weren't, one that wasn't even, one was from America and one was, just a sort of national band, because we didn't want to be seen as a local label. So yeah, I mean even internationally, I mean, I did a little bit of scouting last week in Austin at South by Southwest, and there's a band that I would have signed if it wasn't for that we found out they just signed to somebody else. But yeah, we're up for stuff from wherever it is really, so we could do something with it.
No independent record labels, only have like 6 or 7 artists signed to them.
No, I suppose that's about average, but it depends how you like independent. Really. I mean, there's obviously there's some big independents in this country, and I suppose some of the biggest, certainly in terms of sort of kind of music that we did, and sort of indie stuff, people like Bella Union and Moshi Moshi.